This manual is copyright to Neil Cooper 2024. Reiki Manual Part 4 of 6. Heading: Distance Healing Sessions. Remote distance Reiki healing sessions can also be done. If you choose to offer these kinds of healings, this does not take as long to perform. 15 to 20 minutes of sending healing is often enough when it is done distantly. Again, when enough has been given, the flow will taper off and warmth will decrease in the hands and the energy body. Use the distant healing symbol at the beginning of the session and any other symbols at the onset or during the healing. Often, having a picture of the person helps. If you have seen the client in person before, picture them in your third eye. You may also choose to visualize yourself in the presence of this client. Remote distant Reiki healing can also be done via the phone or webcam. Healers will form a psychic link to the client. Note that some Reiki healers will become very aware of the needs of the client through this process. At the beginning of the session, remember to ground and protect yourself as well as those you are sending the healing to. At the end of the session, close their chakra system and ground again to get plugged back into the earthly vibrations. Distant Reiki healing can be effective and convenient for clients all over the world. Heading: Healing Method. It is important for the client to be able to relax and enjoy their healing session. Just before commencing the healing, be sure to ask the client if there is any place they do not wish to receive hands-on healing or if there are painful or tender areas that should be avoided. Let the client know that if they wish to stop the healing at any time, they can do so. Additionally, if the client needs to itch or cough, they can do so at any time. The more you communicate ahead of time, the smoother the healing session will be for both you and your client. As a reminder, a healing couch can be difficult for some clients to get up onto. Some clients may find it difficult or uncomfortable to turn over onto their front. In those cases, let the client know that it is possible for them to sit with their legs over the side of the healing couch, if that is preferred. Alternatively, it is possible to offer the client a chair healing. The latter is ideal for older clients who may not be as agile. If you are using a healing couch, make sure there is a pillow to go under the head. For clients with back issues, offer to put an extra pillow under their legs for additional support. Having these items on hand will keep your client comfortable. To commence healing on a healing chair or couch, start by asking the client to take 2 or 3 deep breaths. Let them know that this experience will be relaxing and that it is safe to enjoy the healing. Assuming you have permission for hands-on healing, lay your hands on the shoulders of the client. Take a moment to ground and protect yourself and the client. Visualize the client like a tree with roots growing deeply into the ground. This grounding energy will connect him to the earthly vibration. As a Reiki healer, you can connect and ground yourself and essentially act like a grounding stick for clients. Never forget to ground before a healing. Next, see the light of protection coming down from the source. Under your guidance as a Reiki healer, visualize that light entering into the top of the crown and moving all the way down to the feet of the client. This should extend a few feet out, just beyond their aura, to form a bubble of protection. This will keep the client safe during, and for a time, after the healing session. The protection will dissipate in its own time, so you do not need to do anything more once it is in place. During this time, become attuned to the Reiki healing energies and the client. Link in with both and ensure that you have the intent to heal whatever needs to be healed. Invoke the healing energies in order to best help the client. It is at this time that you can call in your Reiki spirit guide to help, if you so choose. Spend a short time finding a peaceful state of harmony within yourself, taking a moment to quiet the mind, and allowing the Reiki energy to build within you until it begins to flow. From here, you can either allow the energy to flow for a short time or take a step back and draw any of the Reiki symbols you wish to use. For example, drawing the power symbol will put healing power into the client. Next, you can follow the Reiki hand positions. Information about the Reiki hand positions will be shared shortly, working methodically around your client to give them a full healing. Alternatively, you can devise a method that works best for you. It is often best to spend the early portion of the healing session focused on the head, as all disharmonies, whether they are of the body, mind, or spirit, are reflected in the mind in some manner. Helping the client to relax mentally is often a good starting point. From there, a Biozen scan can be conducted to find any areas that require additional healing. On the other hand, you can do a full healing of the front, perform a Biozen scan to look for additional needs, and then follow the same process along the back. Once the front has been healed, the client will usually be far more relaxed than they were at the beginning of the session. Going back to give extra healing to the heart and mind is often very beneficial at this time. Once the healing work is finished on both the front and the back, be sure to seal in the healing with the power symbol over the solar plexus chakra. This will keep the healing going for at least 3 days. Something to note. Sometimes, during a healing, you may want to gently brush off residues from the body of the client in a dry bathing process or sweep your hands through the aura to brush away any negative energies. During the session, you may become aware of negative energy coming onto your hands. Not to worry, this will pass through you and be returned back to source. However, you can always turn away from the client and brush it off instead. At times, you may feel like a spark of negative energy hit your hand, often on the palm chakra, an important minor chakra located in the palm of each hand. Brush it off or flick it off behind you. While it will not be harmful for the negative energy to be taken away through you, you might prefer to remove it yourself. What should you do if your client falls asleep during the healing session? There is nothing wrong with a client drifting off during the session. In fact, it is understandable given how relaxed the client will be. However, if you wish to turn over the client for healing on the other side or it is time to end the session, speak to the client gently. Ask them to come back to your voice. Before bringing the client back from the healing, close and ground them. Finish by smoothing the aura. After you have smoothed the aura, tell your client to take their time coming back to awareness. If the client does not respond after a few seconds, tell them again to come back to your voice and to regain awareness of where they are. Continue to do this until they are fully aware and awake. Carefully help your client off the healing couch. Remember that after drifting off, the client might be a little bit disoriented. Let them take a seat for a few minutes if they need to and offer the client a glass of water. Something important to know about offering healing sessions. Whether you are providing a paid or unpaid services, you should always get the appropriate insurance coverage for Reiki healers and therapists. Often, you can find a policy that will cover public liability, personal indemnity, malpractice, and legal costs. Heading: Healing in public places. When healing in a public place, venue, or healing center, it is often best to avoid hands-on healing and give healing through the aura instead. In a hospital, to be more discreet, you might want to hold the client's hand. Heading: Hand positions. Many of the main hand positions are directly over the 7 main chakras. There are other chakras above the head and below the feet that can also benefit from healing and cleansing, along with many minor chakras throughout the spiritual energy body. The healing greatly transmits and radiates out through the chakras and meridians that naturally open during the healing session. The Reiki healer can intentionally open the chakras at the beginning of the healing with the Reiki symbols, taking time to visualize the chakras opening. It is also important at the end of healing to run the hands through the aura, closing the chakras and spirit or energy body of the client to a normal state. Remember to ground the client at the end of every healing as well. Once the front has been healed, the healer can slowly run their hand through the client's aura field to scan him for any additional needs. This can help the healer detect hotspots, tingles, wind-like sensations, or other changes in the aura energy field that tend to indicate that more healing is needed in that area. The client should be asked before the healing what their needs are. Extra time should be given to these needs and conditions. The Reiki healer should also give healing to the aura to cleanse it of any depletions or impurities. Here is a brief reminder of the Reiki healing session process. On a healing couch or chair, the Reiki healer begins by attuning and linking into the healing with their hands resting on the client's shoulders. This is a good opportunity to invoke Reiki to help address the client's needs, as well as ground and protect the client. After this, the healer will often draw in any Reiki symbols they feel are needed. Healing can commence starting from the head. Move down the front of the body, arms and legs, then ask the client to turn over or onto their side. This is so the healer can heal the back, starting with the head and neck and going down to the feet again. Though the total time of a healing session can vary, the average session is usually between 30 minutes to 1 hour. The diagrams below outline the most commonly used hand positions in Reiki. While the diagrams show the client lying on a healing couch, some clients may prefer or may be more comfortable having their healing done while sitting upright in a chair. This is often due to age or physical condition. Diagram 3 covers the additional hand positions. Healers often use a mixture of hands-on contact healing and healing through the aura energy field. This also covers healing the arms, as well as the crown chakra and brow chakra. The healer can also gently cup one hand under the chin, lightly on the throat to give additional healing to the throat chakra. Sensitive areas should be avoided and hands-off healing given over those areas. As a reminder, the more sensitive areas are normally breasts on women, and the pelvis and crotch, inner thighs, posterior, and upper part of the back of the legs on both men and women. Be sure to communicate with your client ahead of the healing. The diagrams below will add clarity to the hand positions that can be used during a Reiki session. Diagram 1 and 2 show the standard Reiki hand positions. Diagram 3 shows additional Reiki hand positions. Diagram 4 shows a chair healing including the back. Heading: Reiki 2 healing hand position diagrams. Diagram 1 and 2, female chest hands off aura healing, pink, and male chest hands on healing, blue. See images in your manual. Diagram 3, additional Reiki hand positions on the back of the client. Finish by closing down and grounding your client at the ankles or at the shoulders, if the client is sitting. Diagram 4, chair healing hand positions.